Welcome to part 2. Just a couple of points that are fairly important that of course I forgot in my big vlog video. So this is part 2 to catch up on those two things. One is the foothold. When you come off, you can slide straight out, but underneath each foothold is a pressure switch that turns the machine off as soon as the pressure is released from either one of the footholds. See, and so it turns itself off, and that's one big point. And the way that'll be done is with radio control. There's no other way. Radio control switch to turn a big main switch on the main power supply off. Can't do it directly, there's no way. You have wires as thick as your thumb going in between there and the propellers sort of thing and the rotors, I mean. No way. It's obviously going to have to be a radio control thing. And the second point is about the paraglider propellers. You can probably even buy 6-blade ones or 5-blade ones anyway. You can certainly buy 4-blade ones and they may be alright. But the point I forgot completely about the paraglider propellers is not only that you can get them in 2 different pitches. I mean, you can get them reverse pitch, which is essential. You can't do it without it, you know. Just forget about it. Just don't do it, you know, if you can't get reverse pitch propellers. But you can with the paraglider propellers, because they sometimes have them contra-rotating, 2 propellers contra-rotating going the opposite way. Probably less torque for them, I suppose, more comfy ride or something. And but another main point I forgot to mention too about the paraglider propellers, you can get them really small, you know, like the sort of diameter that maybe like 30 inches might be the smallest they make or something, or maybe, but it seems like you can get pretty small ones, really small, not real big. And to make a 6-blade out of the 2-blade one, which would be the cheapest way to do it, if you bought a 5-blade or 6-blade, it cost a fortune compared to 3 2-blade ones. A bloke said that. A bloke got one on YouTube. This fellow's got a video on YouTube about model aeroplane propellers. So, and he makes 3-blade ones out of 2-blade propellers. And it's a lot cheaper to do that than buy the 3-blade propeller. And so it's the same with this. You see, buy 3 2-blade propellers, make a 6-blade one. And because they're only small diameter, you know, you get the smallest diameter one you can get. You might have to chop off a little bit of the blade at the root of the blade, chop it at the root of the blade, maybe an inch or something. That's all you have to chop off, or something, maybe 2 inches. And off the tip, you chop about 1/2 inch off, I reckon, to make it match the curvature. And the model's not matching the curvature, because I sort of base this on sort of a propeller. Because, you know, if you bought a paraglider propeller, it's just the right size, and it still misses by a lot. Of course, you can't chop it off then, can you? You know, but I should have made that so the curvature of the blade matches the ducting. I think that'd be a better idea. And most of the blades these days are fairly pointy too, so like just a fairly blunt end, but they've got a little bit of a point on it as well, just right at the tip. It's only the last 1/2 inch where they got the pointed bit, and just cut the last 1/2 inch off the tip as well, you know. And another thing about the propellers is once you build your multi-blade propeller out of 2-blade propellers very carefully and everything, then you put an aluminium plate on each side and glue it and whatever, fasten it somehow, bolt it together or something to make it really strong. And so it'll handle the 50 horsepower. So there's 4 12 horsepower motors, and you can buy the motors, and you can buy them all shapes. And so, especially when you've got a bit bigger rotor diameter, you can fit them in easily and have the same size motors. And you've got to buy the motors that some are nearly like a disc, nearly like the shape of that polystyrene bit in the middle of the propeller. They're sort of that shape, some of them. You can get the right ones. Some are like the opposite, and they're too long and skinny like a coffee can or something, but you want to look for the motors. There's lots of them, millions of them. And they're pretty cheap too, they're not that expensive, you know. And so I suppose the most expensive part of this one would really be the propellers and the battery packs, I suppose. And the motors would be a bit expensive, not too much, not as much as I thought they were. A couple of $100 each or something, maybe. $200 to $400 each, depends on what size you make them. And so it's not too bad, right? Like a paraglider motor, 15 horsepower is not that expensive. And about 5 inches diameter, but they're a bit deep. Some of them are a bit deep. You've got to watch the depth, sort of thing, when you're buying it. Some motors, I said, are like a disc shape nearly, you know. And so you've got the bottom of the motor sticking out in the bottom too much. You don't want that. The whole thing's built flat, sort of like a laptop sort of thing. Everything's all flattened. Pretty cool, eh? A laptop. Those were the 2 points I had to mention. It's good for flying over grass.